Secrets of Power is the 6th set of Star Wars Unlimited, and while Star Wars usually headlines the bombastic strength of the Jedi and the Sith, this set hones in on the quiet power behind the scenes, the politicians, schemers, spies, and rabble-rousers that move the story forward. In this video, we'll be looking at the new mechanics from Secrets of Power, Disclose and Plot. And we'll be explaining how they work and how they might be the secrets to power in your gameplay. What's up, everyone? It's Dan with Main Deck, and welcome to another Star Wars Unlimited Explained. Now, in this one, we're going to be looking at Disclose and Plot, the two new keywords from the 6th set Secrets of Power. And these two new keywords denote new types of abilities that are going to be found in both the Spotlight decks and the booster packs. So they're going to be everywhere. So let's dive into exactly what they mean. First, Disclose. Disclose is a new instruction that cards can give you that, if you meet it, will cause additional effects to happen. Disclose will always list some aspect icons after it, such as the command icon on this Naboo security force. To meet this requirement, whenever you use this card's when played or when defeated ability, reveal a card from your hand with at least one command icon in its aspect icons. Then, you'll get to use the rest of the ability and give a friendly unit, including itself if you wish, Sentinel for the phase. If you have no cards in hand or no cards with a command icon, you won't be able to get that effect. Now, that was pretty straightforward, but Disclose can get trickier too. Let's look at Cyril Karn, whose on attack lets you disclose aggression, villainy in order to use the rest of his ability. This, of course, isn't all on a single card, yet at least, but you can reveal multiple cards to do this in a number of ways. The key is that you just have to find all of those listed aspects among the aspect icons on the revealed cards. But importantly, you can't use the same aspect icon more than once in a single Disclose. So you could reveal a Marin alone with the dead and a Force Lightning to find all three. Or you could reveal a Saw Gerrera Extremist and an Overwhelming Barrage to find them, even though there's an extra command icon here. You could also find all three with a Green Squadron A-Wing, a Wampa, and a Zero the Hutt, but I'm not sure what kind of wild deck you're playing in order to do that. And you may have some cards that trigger their Disclose abilities multiple times in a turn, like this Captain Typho, All Necessary Precautions. Each time he's attacked, you can reveal Command Heroism to heal your base, and each time you can reveal the same card or cards, or different cards if you want. The point is, they don't have to be new cards every single time. We also have some events that have no effect if you can't meet the Disclose, like this cycle of charged cards. As you can see with what we've shown, cards with Disclose instructions are basically asking you for a small extra cost in order to get a slightly buffed up effect. It's a way of the game asking you to just play a little bit differently or value things a little bit differently to create a nice subtle wrinkle in both deck building and gameplay. You may think twice about which cards you choose to resource when you have to have that, for example, heroism icon in your hand in order to get a Disclose effect. Or you might delay playing that card until a little later in the action phase, just so you can get a Disclose effect before you play it. Disclose also makes certain discard effects a little more interesting. When you discard cards from your own hand, you're going to be losing out on potential Disclose value. When your opponent discards cards from your hand, they might be denying you certain Disclose value. Now, while Disclose is making subtle wrinkles in play, Plot is going to have a huge and immediate impact. Plot is a new keyword that gives its card an ability that makes it able to be played from your resources, much like Smuggle from Shadows of the Galaxy. And just like Smuggle, you get to replace the resource you play with Plot with a new one from the top of your deck, Exhausted. And when you pay that Plot cost, make sure you remember that just like Smuggle, you can exhaust the card with Plot itself to pay for one of its cost. It's still a resource while the cost is being paid. However, Plot has a huge difference when compared to Smuggle, and that's when you get to play the card from your resources. While a card with Smuggle can be played just like playing a card from your hand, a card with Plot can only be played from your resources when your leader is deployed in that very same action. For example, let's say early on in the game you placed an Armor of Fortune in your resources. Later on, you reach 6 resources and choose to deploy your Iden Versio leader. Immediately, at the same time that her shielded triggers, you'll be able to choose to play the Armor of Fortune out of your resources, provided you have the 2 resources to pay for it. Your opponent won't have a chance to take an action in between. Instead of deploying Iden as a 4/4 with shielded and letting the opponent play a takedown on her, she now deploys with her new plot armor as a 4/7 shielded, immune to takedown until she takes some damage. Plus, you'll get a new resource exhausted from the top of your deck to replace the Armor of Fortune you played. This is the true power of plot, something we call action compression in Star Wars Unlimited, and that's something we're actually going to have a full Star Wars Unlimited explained video on in the future. Plot allows you to compress multiple actions into a single action, and it does so on what is often the most crucial action of the game, the leader deploy. Many games of Star Wars Unlimited can come down to whether or not your leader survives that turn, and if it does, it can carry you all the way to victory, but if it's defeated, it may portend your demise. Plot lets you supplement your leader flip with any number of plays that can immediately affect their ability to get it off the board, so let's look at a few more. Cad Bane, impressed now, can immediately defeat a unit with 2 or less remaining HP, which can help protect your leader from a damage source like a damaged Vader that would have otherwise threatened it. Kadel Connix, 4R Survival, deletes all of a unit's non-unique upgrades, which includes experience and shield tokens, which can make things a lot trickier for decks that rely on those in order to get the power necessary to deal with your units. And both heroism and villainy have some ways of simply dissuading attacks. Taladurith, I Can Get You Inside, will give all your friendly units hidden while she's in play, which means they cannot be attacked if they were played or deployed this phase. So she'll have to be removed first before your newly deployed leader can be attacked. And Palpatine, I Am the Senate, gives you 2 of the set's new spy tokens, 0/2 token units with Raid 2 in the ground arena, and then gives them Sentinel this turn, so unless the opponent has a Saboteur, the spies have to go before the leader can be attacked. When you deploy your leader, you can play as many plot cards from your resources as you can pay for, so dream big and make the strongest, most action-compressed leader flip possible. Much like Smuggle, I expect many decks to consider slotting in certain plot cards because it will make resourcing easier in the early game, but also provide important tactical decisions to make in the mid to late game. Some players may even choose to flip their leader later than its deploy turn to take advantage of certain combinations of plot cards, a lot like we've seen people do with Legends of the Force's Kylo Ren leader. And let's not forget that not every leader can only be deployed once. Shout out to the Admiral Trench gang, who is looking very excited to play plot cards on Admiral Trench every single time they flip him with his non-epic action. Now that you've learned the secrets to Disclose and Plot, I hope you feel more prepared to harness their power in this exciting new expansion. Let me know in the comments if you have any more questions, and I will do my best to answer them, or share with me the plot play that you are most excited to make. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more Star Wars Unlimited deck profile and learning content like this, and we'll see you all in the next one.